thing is unbelievable. Mark Steyn is an author and columnist, and he joins us tonight. Mark, I'm still on the quest to get my one question answered, which is this crime that supposedly took place, who's the victim of it?
I would have to disagree, I think, with Richard slightly, because if anybody is, it's the president. The only crime that's going on here is blackmail. This woman and Trump engaged in an act that I would not have wanted to engage in with her, but it was consensual, and she threatened to talk about it. They signed a non-disclosure agreement for 130 grand. One of the stupid things about non-disclosure agreements is that if one party breaks it, then in order to demonstrate that they've breached the non-disclosure agreement, you have to disclose it yourself. So they're fairly pointless and stupid things.
Yes,
but in fact, this woman, well, I mean that as a semi-serious point here, Tucker, because this story is a lot of things, but it's not a crime. And when you look at this guy Avenatti going on talk shows, he's brilliant. He plays a good sleazy bum shyster lawyer on TV, but he doesn't actually have a case in the courtroom, because the only people who are committing any crime here are the two shakedown artists, which is Stormy and her lawyer.
Have you heard anybody, look, I don't have strong feelings about any part of this case, and that's why it took me until yesterday to realize, wait a second, why is nobody saying that? It's just such an obvious point. She got 130 grand. Why does that make her a hero? That doesn't seem like the kind of behavior that we would be in favor of.
Well, one of she's an aging porn star, which is not a good thing to be. I haven't seen any of her motion picture roles,
I haven't either.
But on Saturday Night Live, when she delivered that line that porn stars aren't known for their acting, she actually delivered it totally woodenly, so that even by porn star standards, she seemed to be a fairly wooden actress. And I think yes, it is. And evidently she needs the money. But to go back to what you were talking about with Richard, my view of Trump is that people chose him in the nominating process because he'd done everything. Mitt Romney was the worst guy on the planet because he gave a wedgie to a kid in grade 3, if you recall, and he put a dog on his roof and drove the dog to Canada. And people picked Trump this time because they know that if he ever drove a dog to Canada, he'd give him a wedgie every half mile up I-95. So people assume that Trump has done everything and it's baked in the cake.
So maybe the election wasn't really a referendum on Trump's personal life or his moral standing. Maybe there were other issues that voters were trying to get our attention on, get us to pay attention to, and we're not.
Yeah, I think if you live in a broken down town where the mill's closed and your daughter's got nothing to do except the night shift at the Quickie Crap and she's dating a heroin dealer, you're not actually voting for Trump because he's the perfect gentleman. You're voting for Trump because everything else you've voted for in the last 20 years has failed you.
That is absolutely right, and it leads seamlessly into our next segment, because we really are going to continue trying to talk about the issues that this is all about, and it's not Stormy. Anyway, thank you, Mark. It's great to see you.
Thanks a lot, Tucker.
Well, Mexico ships more drugs into this country than any other country. Heroin, primarily, but also cocaine, methamphetamine, marijuana. In return, we send them hundreds of millions of dollars in foreign aid. Why are we doing that? Well, one congressional candidate is finally asking that question, and she joins us next.